Welcome back, fourth grade, to week 4 of social studies as we continue to explore the question, how do we participate in a democracy? This week, it's all about this. How do we ensure all voices are heard in a democracy? This week, I want to teach you that in order for a democracy to work well, all voices should be heard. Throughout history, some groups of people have not been able to participate fully in our society. Individuals and groups have worked hard over time to bring changes in laws that ensure equal rights and opportunities. Learning the history of these changes helps us continue to make the United States a place where everyone's voice can be heard. Such an important thing to understand, such an important thing to study, and we're going to this week. So, the agenda for this week looks a little bit differently than you're used to. Day one, you're going to watch 4 Brain Pop videos and then check out 4 different projects that you might complete. And day 2 and 3, well, you're going to work on those projects. So let's get down to day 1, where we look at 4 different videos from BrainPop. Think about which topic is most interesting to you, and you'll be choosing that one to learn more about. So the topics are women's suffrage, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, and disability rights. Each of these videos is going to give you a little bit of an overview of these topics to help you decide which one you want to dig deeper into and try to understand more about. Then, after you watch that video, you're going to look at these 4 projects and you're going to click on directions. So I'll click on civil rights. And for directions, it says what my project might be. So this one is going to be a timeline, it looks like. And it says that the history of civil rights has many important events and people. I'm going to learn about them, and then I'm going to choose 4 important people or events to create a timeline from. So it gives a little sample timeline here about some events that occurred during the civil rights movement. But if I go back to our overview and I click on the sample, I can actually see that sample a little bit larger. There it is. This looks like it's taking place over about 14 years from Brown versus Board of Education, which was a very important court case to the unfortunate assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. There are the 4 different topics that we already talked about: women's suffrage, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, and disability rights. Take a minute to look at the directions for each, take a look at the sample, think about which one am I most interested in, which one do I want to learn more about. That's all you have to do on day 1. Go into Schoology. You're going to tell your teacher, hey, this is the one I want to do. And then we get to day 2 and day 3. And day 2 and day 3 have a lot of research involved. But we've already done the research for you. If you look under each of the 4 topics, there are a lot of resources underneath them. 7 or 8 different resources under every single topic. So if you want to learn more about women's suffrage, click on the link, and it's either going to be a YouTube video, maybe it'll be an epic book, maybe it will be an article from Google Arts and Culture, maybe it will be an article from TCI. There are plenty of resources here that will really help you become an expert on your topic. So as you are reading, as you are learning, remember you're thinking about that project. So if it's a timeline, then you're thinking, what are those big moments that really stand out to me? What are those 4 really important things that I think really cover women's suffrage, that are really essential, important to LGBTQ rights? That's what you're thinking about. If you're analyzing an artifact, like over in women's suffrage, it's going to be a different process, isn't it? But still, you're doing the same deep reading, the same note taking, the same focus, and the same research. Once you complete your timeline or your analyzing of an artifact, remember you have your template right here. So I can click right on the template of analyze an artifact. It's going to ask me to make a copy. Of course, I want to make a copy. And then here it is. I get to just type in right here exactly what it's asking me for. So I'm going to look at a poster in women's suffrage, write about that. What are the words that are on the poster? What are the pictures and colors that are used? And so on, right? Until I write an opinion. Whether it's that or a timeline that you're going to fill out, like perhaps this one from Civil Rights. After I fill out this timeline that talks about the important events during the Civil Rights Movement, I'm going to head over to Schoology, I'm going to submit that to my class, and that will be the end of week 4 of Social Studies. Happy research.